Howdy, 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 my name's Anachi Sasuke, and that microphone is a little bit too close to my face, and welcome to Jailbreak! So I said I was going to do this, and I'm doing it, because I finished Problem Sleuth. I'm not doing Homestuck yet. I haven't recorded Homestuck in a little bit, for reasons that I'll get to when I get there. But for now, I remember someone saying to me that Jailbreak could probably be done in one recording. I don't really believe them, but I'm going to try anyway and see how far I get before my throat does a stop. Now then. You wake up locked in a deserted jail cell completely alone. There's nothing at all in your cell, useful or otherwise, except for this key and this pumpkin, but this is the beginning of what pumpkin, I believe. Attempt to pry open the window. There are no objects with which to pry open window. Graft pumpkin to yourself so that you have one hideous arm. What pumpkin? Grow two muscular arms with which to manhandle the key. He already has arms, stupid. Look for the keyhole. There, that sure is a keyhole. Throw the key down to that guy so he can open the door. It lands with a loud metallic clank. Loudly tell that guy to pick up the key and try it on the door. Now this is from, apparently, from what I understand, this is from when people actually had input on what happened in the comics on MS Paint Adventures. By the time I found out this website existed, Homestuck was already like 2-3 years in, and I had long since missed that boat. But, despite your bellowing, the man casually opens the door and leaves. Pee out the window and attempt to bring him back. As you turn around to unzip, you notice another keyhole. Open the door. Wonders where the fuck that pumpkin went. Do a dance. Exotic rhythms take over your body as you start to do a really silly dance. You recall your initial urge to urinate out the window. Now to think of it, you really have to pee. The urine splashes onto the man outside who had a change of heart. He is climbing a ladder to give you a key. Not anymore, he's not. Knock on the door. Your clumsy fist accidentally flies through the bars, knocking out a passerby. Keys from his keyring jingle on the floor. Ask the dungeon master if there's one fucking way out of the room. If there is one okay. He's unconscious. Examine the floor. You pick up a clump of nutrient-enriched dirt, sweet spice of the earth. You sit in hushed awe of the luster of the brown gold. Say hello to the pumpkin. I beg your pardon? Search room thoroughly for pumpkin. You wake up next to a broken ladder. You're covered in piss. Throw a key at shoe. Shoe a key. You're not even really sure if you're wearing shoes. Rub the key on your chest. Now the key smells like pee too. Go through the door. The door is locked. Use the key. Jiggle as you might, the key doesn't work. Now the lock kind of smells like pee too. Pretend the broken ladder is broken train track. Choo-choo, all aboard the Moron Express! Use the ladder as a battering ram. That didn't work. Talk to the guy in the jail cell. You yell to the imprisoned man. He yells back something barely audible to you. Ignore all future inputs from Beetlejuice. I'm sorry, I don't think I can do that with all future input from Beetlejuice. Turn the long ladder into stilts. You fashioned a pretty nice pair of stilts, but you don't know how you're going to get up on them. If only you hadn't broken the other half ladder in half, you might have been able to climb onto the stilts with it. Hook the key to the end of the ladder and extend it to the jail cell guy. Since the whole ladder was approximately the height of the window in the first place, half of the ladder's height will not nearly reach. Make clay from dirt and pee to the glue ladder into pole. The rungs from one end of the ladder have easily and snugly fit into the holes of the other. No cementation is necessary. This being the case, you now regret creating the smelly pea mud. Hook key to ladder and extend to jail cell guy. Still a little out of reach. Toss the contraption to the air and give it the added lift. With a little too much gusto, you send the rig sailing too high. Oh, it's a different person. That's what happened. Drill a hole in the floor. You are not this guy! Sing Malaguena? You were a little bummed out that you missed grabbing the key by inches in an attempt to drown your sorrow as you gust forth with melody. An enchanting rendition of Malaguena. In an attempt to silence your racket, the man above begins drilling noisily. Hollow out the pumpkin and wear it as a helmet in case the ceiling collapses. You're quite certain there has never been, and never will be, a pumpkin in this room. Keep singing until the guy drills through the floor. You sing so hard you topple backwards over the pumpkin. As you lie on the ceiling looking up, you see the tip of the drill penetrating the ceiling. It looks just big enough for a key to fit through. Serenade the guy about how you want the key. It would be really great if you could give me that key. The man has opted to take a leak through the hole. You're getting really sick of pee. Spit pee it, man, out the window. With a hefty mouthful of the other guy's urine, you decide to get revenge on the man below for botching the key situation. But as you're about to spit the pee, the man above takes a huge shit on your head from his window. The surprise unfortunately causes you to swallow the pee. I'm not even gonna... barf. Oh, he actually fixed the ladder. Overcome with nausea from the foul chain of events, you vomit. The man below has almost completely reconstructed the ladder using the same method he used to build the stilts. He's nearly up to your cell when he is met with a face full of regurgitated urine. Check on the knocked out guard. He's really down for the count. Try waking him up by peeing on him. How much pee do y'all have? You're all tapped out for pee at the moment. I can answer my question. But the crap on your head is emitting a powerful stench. The odor wakes the guard, who suddenly remembers your assault. He enters the cell to beat the shit out of you. Leap over him in a desperate bid for freedom. You carelessly trip over a pumpkin, which has clearly been in plain sight this whole time. You saw the pumpkin, right? I saw the pumpkin. You knock the man backwards into the door, slamming it shut. The guard is unconscious again. Eat the pumpkin. You suddenly wonder what has happened to the poop on your head. That is a good question. Where did that go? Use the guard's pants to lasso keys through the opening in the door. You're not even sure if the guy's wearing pants. He did seem to be wearing a belt, though. You flail the belt around uselessly and then drop it. Alright. Use the guard as a battering ram on the door. He's too heavy to lift completely, so you drag him close to the door and prop him up. Then smash his face against the door repeatedly. The door holds fast. Apologize to his body. You start to feel sorry for abusing the guard so badly and mumble an apology. But then, a mere apology doesn't seem to do justice to the poor man. You decide he needs a proper funeral. You sever his head with your trusty pocket knife, and place the head in the pumpkin, which you just hollowed out. Using your handy spoon, you dug a hole and buried the pumpkin. You say a few prayers. He's in a better place now. This shit is probably why you're in jail. Just saying. Status? Game status. Health, 74. Strength, 32. Dexterity, 41. Wisdom, pluck, metal, chutzpah. Fortitude, temerity, cheek. Pumpkins destroyed, 1. Keys in inventory, 0. Key throwing accuracy, 0. Urination is 3. Decapitation is 1. Score 890. How do you figure? That might equal 890. I'm not going to check though. Unpause. You wake up in your cell after a short nap. There is a key to your side to drill against the wall and a small pea-soaked hole in the floor. Drill through the floor. Thud. For the first time in your 3-year imprisonment, it occurs to you to drill a large hole in the floor. You put your back into it. Rough day for that guard's body. Poke your head through the hole and wave. You are delighted to see your neighbor. You decide you're long overdue for a proper greeting. Your oversized cranium gets lodged in the hole. You are stuck fast. Try waving your legs in the air. Did he just... Your most creative solution to the problem seems to be to hoist your torso in the air and flail your legs. It seems to be working when something goes wrong. Proceed. You suddenly realize you are now this guy. Dub pictures of naked ladies on the wall with blood. All you have is gay porno. The black inches and hunk rump. Didn't black inches happen in Problem Sleuth 2? I know I've seen that. Drill a hole through the door. The drill is not strong enough to penetrate steel. Drill through the wall next to the door. All these thoughts of drilling and penetration have given you a serious hankering for some quality time with Hunk Rump magazine. Continue to enjoy Hunk Rump. You are putting the finishing touches on a robot you have built from ladder pieces. You are soaked in regurgitated urine, and this activity has been a nice diversion. You call him Logorg. He's magnificent. Command Logorg to dance. With commanding authority, you issue the order. Logorg has no brain, motor, or any moving parts. Use Logorg as a battering ram to open the door. From atop your great mechanized mount, you command Logorg to break down the door like a huge battering ram. But nothing happens. Put your brain inside Logorg's head. You're not sure how you're going to get your brain into Logorg's head, or out of your own head for that matter. But you get an idea. Wreak? Havoc. Logorg has no moving parts! You can barely move inside your new wooden prison. Make a little love. You decide all these thoughts of destruction should be offset by a little good earnest lovemaking. While you contemplate your current options for sexual partners, a whirring is heard from overhead. Someone is about to sacrifice their soul to the heathen gods. You've considered doing a lot of stupid things before, but this idea takes the cake. Rebuild Logorg! From the Logorg ashes rises the phoenix of Drillgorg, supreme next-generation mechabot at your service. Get down tonight. You're really excited about the advent of Drillgorg. You have no choice but to totally get down. Festivities and gyrations may or may not continue into the evening. Get a bachelor's degree in robotics. What is this rope-looking thing? You don't even know where to begin addressing how stupid that idea is. This picture's going to happen a lot, isn't it? Examine that rope-like object. Oh. With great prescience, prescience, conscience. Move away from the end of that intestine. Why did blood fly out of Drogorg? With great prescience, you move out of the way of the intestine. Make a robot out of that guy. I don't think I'm familiar with make a robot out of that guy. Cry. Crushed by the loss of your prized automaton, your son of lumber, you are reduced to tears. The other guy consoles you. He thinks he has something that might cheer you up. Pause. Okay. A pause. You are this guy. Let's see. You and your newfound buddy stand face to face wondering what to do. The shattered remains of Drogorg rest in a tragic heap. I think from this point on I'm not really going to be able to keep it all not like this. So let's first try to climb the intestine. You decide to climb the intestine from which your new mate descended. He thinks, what the heck, might as well follow. You both begin a perilous, smelly climb. The added weight causes a sudden jerk from the other end. You make it through, but your partner is not so lucky. With a great sense of accomplishment, you survey the room. Wow, what happened in here? Clean the place up a bit. Using your trusty rag, you make some pretty good headway on the room. You notice a small patch of dirt where it looks like something was buried. Eat whatever is in the hole. You firmly resolve to eat whatever you unearth from the hole, no matter how unsavory, when suddenly the dirt collapses. A void in the floor is left behind. You'll have to make other dinner plans. Dig deeper! Search for Prime Minister's gold hookers! You start to dig, but hoping there will be valuables belonging to important people, but your oversized head becomes stuck. There's something oddly familiar about the situation. Ease your head out of the hole. Pop! You begin to gently squirm and wiggle when you start hearing an eerie buzz around your head. Carve holes for mouth and eyes. Much better! Now you can see through the thick flesh of the vegetable. That's using your gourd. Go to the window to show off the new helmet. Through some act of divine collusion, you were drawn to the portal to look down. Greet him. Ask man to throw intestine up to you. You think maybe your coarse gesture was made a bit brashly? Diplomacy may be the most mutually beneficial strategy here. You kindly voice your request. The other man, though apparently irate, seems to be swayed by your tone. After all, you did ask very nicely. Success! Use the intestine like scarf. Climb intestine. Pumpkin a purifier? It's gone! You sling the intestine around your neck like a shawl. How glamorous. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille. Eat the pumpkin portions just cut out of the head pumpkin. Where did a fork come from? Damn! The pumpkin portion is a little too big for the mouth hole. You think to yourself, if I didn't have my trusty knife with me, I think I'd slit my wrists. Play the get-out-of-jail-free card. Pumpkin a purifier. Of course! You forgot about your get-out-of-jail-free card. This is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. You're suddenly this guy. You're taking a strong interest in this door and what's inside. You think to yourself, I'll probably go through this door no matter what other stupid idea pops into my head. For the love of God, go through the door! Slam, lock. You step through the door, which instantly slams behind you and makes a locking noise. You have a feeling it is locked. In the room is a wall which has 3 pumpkin-shaped recesses. One has a happy face, another sad, the other is scared or surprised or something. There is a fresh pumpkin on a pedestal and a carving knife next to it. The room seems to extend very high up. It might go all the way up to the roof there. Carve the pumpkin into a surprised face. With your most determined face, you set about turning the pumpkin into a work of art. You really suck at carving pumpkins. Put it into the sad recess. You are not deterred by any theoretical discrepancies between your handiwork and the pumpkin spec, nor do you feel you have to put the pumpkin in the correct recess. Fits like a glove. Removing the pumpkin from the pedestal may have triggered some event, however. Drink as much as you can, as fast as you can. You can't believe how stupid that idea is, but it's worth a shot, I guess. Gotta refill that piss somehow. Plug up the hole with a pumpkin. Oh god. You figure it's about time you took off this silly, uncomfortable pumpkin armor and put it to good use. There must be something that can stop the terrible flow of this water, possibly some mechanism. Maybe right in this room! Carve pumpkins to match face on the wall and put them in. Oh. Maybe it's the surging cruel water rising inexorably, but you're suddenly much more inspired to put a concerted effort into refining your craft. You hone your willpower into that of a master sculptor. Each slice, each contour of the knife bends to your will. Yes. Yes! The results are breathtaking. The expressions are human emotion incarnate. Why, are these pumpkins or fellow men wrapped within the human condition? No time for reflection, though. As you wait for something to happen, you think at the very least, maybe you could float to the opening in the ceiling, even though you're not a great swimmer. As the water engulfs your head, you hear another distant mechanical sound. Oh, shit. Huh. Luckily for the cause of suspense, you are now the other guy in the cell, wondering exactly what to do. There's a noise. The secret door opens to the adjacent cell. These two have been long dead. You wonder what kind of moronic adventures they were up to. I guess you'll probably never know. Bring the gun along in case you have to off yourself. You pick up the firearm. You now feel powerful and confident. Unfortunately, there's no one on your person to pack the heat. A violin string seems to suit the purpose well. Jump out the window. The window to the cell's barred. Let me, go back and check to see what this other selection was going to do. Be the other guy. What? 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 With great exertion, you attempt to disembody your awareness and move it into another person. It seems to be working, but not as you hoped. You wake up to the ghastly discovery that you have no head! Although, your entrails are spilling out. It's probably supposed to be also. Also, your entrails are spilling out of your abdomen. It's quite painful. You're flying into a wall suddenly. What's happening? The trauma was way too much for your system, and you expire a second time. Your awareness passes on to this guy. Drill through door. Recalling the drill does not penetrate steel doors, you buckle down and get ready to give it your all. Except the door is made of wood. Place your head on the X. Bonk. Bzzz. Attempting to place your head on the X, you bump the device, activating it. It purifies the pumpkin that looks like it's seen better days. Open the pumpkin and cuddle whatever is inside. Do you remember this guy? You murdered him when you smashed his face against the door, and then you decapitated him because it was the only decent thing to do. You were so happy to see him again. God, that pumpkin looks delicious. Check that door to see if it's locked. Your curiosity about the door gets the better of you, but you try to sneak a nibble from the pumpkin nonetheless. Build pumpkin armor. You gather up a couple of spare pumpkins and cobble together a very smart-looking outfit. You feel invincible suddenly. Return to the courtyard to show off a new suit. Through some act of divine collusion, you were drawn out the broken door to look up. Greet him. And then it cycles back around. Okay. Boop. The window to the cell is barred. Try to climb up the rope thing. What? You get the fishy feeling that this is probably more intestine. You've been climbing a lot of intestines lately. It looks like this goes all the way to the roof. It must have been a very long, large intestinal tract. You're wrong! There's actually a small intestinal tract belonging to a slaughtered sperm whale. Is this the whale from the battle in the middle of Problem Sleuth? I think this is that whale. Okay. Survey surroundings, possibly sneaking a bite of ambergris. Gurgle. There is quite a panoramic view up here. Surrounding you mostly is other prison buildings. Who knows how many poor souls are trapped in this idiotic facility? Directly in front of you is another building. You hear water gurgling from it. Just beyond are some mountains, which might be a nice place to escape to if possible. You're not really sure what ambergris is, but you have a feeling it will be essential. You grab a liberal dollop and stick it on your pumpkin. Use the harpoon to get across to building and shoot down a hole. Pew! Oh, pew! Crank. You pry the harpoon out of the whale, load it into the barrel, and fire. The pulley mechanism yanks you swiftly to the other rooftop. Readying your pistol to be fired indiscriminately into the void below, you hear some murmurs along with the gurgling. The water seems to be rising slowly. Looking into his mournful, pleading eyes, you start to reconsider firing your handgun. You opt for the harpoon gun instead. You figure you might need the bullets later if you have to off yourself. Pull the lever and reel in the harpoon. Okay, you think you've got this figured out now. Amidst a lot of swearing and groaning from below, you nonchalantly walk over and pull the crank. Assuming this will trigger something right away, presumably with respect to the bars, you reel in the harpoon. The bars stay put, but a ladder emerges with some kind of control panel next to it a good ways down. Apologize to the man. The heck? You tie the harpoon tether around the crank so it doesn't go anywhere. You then get down on your knees in preparation for one of your most sincere-sounding apologies when something distracts you. A 5,000-piece jigsaw puzzle on the floor, partially completed. It looks like it's a picture of kittens. This looks like so much fun. Ask the harpoon man where the rest of the few thousand pieces are. He can't hear your question and doesn't really care to listen at the moment. Climb down the ladder and randomly press buttons on the panel. Release? What? You get your button pushing figure ready for a field day. You're disappointed to find it is a simple switch. You pull it nonetheless. Take off the helmet and use it for flotation. Flip the switch again. Let's see. Release. Pumpkin Hugifier. You struggle to remove the pumpkin, but it is swollen from absorbing too much water. To express your current emotion, you try to twist it to the frowning side, but it gets stuck halfway. Though blind, you still manage to scramble over and pull the lever again. You are now the harpooned man. Point Hugifier at Pumpkinhead and activate. Huge or pretty huge? Pow! That is ever so slightly terrifying. Rumble, crush, level. Halt! You can't imagine what this strange device does, but it beckons you. There are 2 settings on the dial. You leave it at pretty huge. You don't want to get carried away. You are that guy. Look around and thank Guy for quick thinking with Harpoon. You look around. You appear to be surrounded by mountains and a shitty-looking forest. Also, there's a conspicuous stump there. There's got to be some way to get down from this pumpkin. Load gun and fire at stump while singing King Henry V. I don't know what King Henry V is. I am Henry V, I am a king, and pow! Slide. Okay, so now we know why there's that in the suicide stump. It might be the blood loss, but you've definitely gone bonkers. You load the gun and fire it backwards through your torso while reciting the play Henry V. Henry V. You clearly don't know a single line from this play. You act fast with your trusty knife to free yourself from the impending collision. You are now this guy. You grab the other guy's hand and run off into the forest. Drag. Game over. Yes! Finally free at last! Though the victory is bittersweet, your friend has died of blood loss. This is no victory. The feeling is vast emptiness. You are no longer bound by bars or concrete, but you feel more incarcerated than ever. You come to the heart-wrenching conclusion that the only true prison is loneliness. There's only one thing left to do. And that thing is continue. You wake up in a locked, deserted jail cell completely alone. There's nothing at all in your cell you swore otherwise. Turn around. Using key, carve spell into pumpkin invoking elves and such. What in the merciful Christ's name are you talking about? Using key, carve such spell into stomach invoking elves and such. There's already such a spell carved into your stomach. What? Recite spell while spilling blood invoking elves and such. You don't know what any of those runes mean, and you'll be damned if you're going to try to read them upside down. An elf appears anyway. With your trusty Hunks Jug magazine, forge a sword. Your gay pornography has been forged into a formidable blade. The elf saw a picture of a penis and started to cry. Strike the elf! You could really use a boost in pulchritude if you wish to win this battle. Got health, magics, and pulchritude. Offer the elf a baby in exchange for one wish. The elf agrees to grant one wish on the promise that you will acquire a baby for him in your near future. Choose a wish. Get out of jail, a new pony, or improve your pulchritude. Ask for a pony. Ask for a second wish by promising twin babies. Get your second wish. Get out of jail or improve your pulchritude. Wish to get out of jail, then trample the elf with the pony. He's more than happy to magically transport you outside the prison. You had him, I will get you more babies. You deal more damage in the fracas, but again, clumsily meleeing skills have left you with the short end of the stick. Cut open the horse to sleep inside for the cold night. You seem to forget your sword is made of paper and really isn't capable of cutting anything open. However, with the pony's already weak in health, a blow is just enough to take him to critical condition as pulchritude takes a hit too. But the cold night air is imminent, and you have to do something. You decide to get into his mouth for warmth. Ah, snug as a bug. You have a feeling you'll get a pretty good night's sleep. While you were doing all that, the elf entered his magic 2-bedroom bungalow for the night and locked the door. Man, it sure looks warm in. Cast Fireball at the bungalow so you stay extra warm tonight. You crawl out of the mouth covered in the viscous horse slobber. You don't know any fireball spells, but you think maybe there's something useful in the rooms of your belly. No fireballs, but another elf appears. Dig up the stump. You flip open the stump easily, revealing a hole. There is a gun in the hole. You figure the gun was placed there in case you needed to off yourself at some point. There seems to be some powerful cosmic magnetism towards suicide which surrounds the stump. It has no bullets. Go on a hunt for children to repay the elf for his kindness. 3. There appears to be a bus full of children on a field trip coming down the road. You wait to spring an ambush. Unfortunately, not one of these children appears to be a baby. Give bus of children to elves so you can go inside. While you were measuring, the bus driver drove off with the rest of the kids, leaving you with only these three. You see if you can interest the elves nonetheless. They were apparently unmoved by the offer. Tie kids together with the horse and use as a battering ram. An idea this good just doesn't come around every day. You bind the motley collection of hostages together with your ample supply of rope. Where did he get rope from? But the combined weight of 3 kids in a small Ichwing is too much to even drag to the door. You're beginning to suspect this was a retarded idea. Throw 2 kids in the chimney. Maybe it'll smoke out the elves. You order the children to climb the house and go down the chimney. The horse tries to gesture that the gun has no bullets. Continue your downward spiral of mental instability. Inside the bungalow, it is warm and inviting. Invite the horse children and madman in for a tea party. Frankly, you think the guy is a little unhinged. You don't want anything to do with him unless he has babies, of course. Enact total war. Set the house on fire and flee to east of Moscow. Moscow is west, you boob. Use magical prowess to summon Moscovite elves. You don't know the spell for summoning elves, Russian or otherwise, and the only known spell is carved on the belly of that lunatic, and you're not getting it close enough to read it. The only spells carved on your belly have nothing to do with elves. From what you can decipher of the runes, you think one has something to do with summoning vegetables. The other one may give you an elevated mystical communion with animals or something. What a lame-ass spell. Use the runes to commune with the pony and feed it a magic carrot. A magical sense of community tugs at the pony's primitive mind. A luscious, magicked-up carrot tantalizes the pony. All of the pony's stats are completely restored. Bite off your own leg and use it to play fetch with the pony. That does not sound like an enjoyable activity for either party. First, be the pony. Second, trample the children and the man. I'm sorry, but I'm not familiar with the command be the pony. With elf powers, order the pony to trample the children and the man. You really put your back into this enchantment. You will coerce this pony toward murder, come hell or high water. The pony wanders off and snuggles in the bed. He looks really warm and cozy. You are now the pony. Enjoy that restful slumber, pony. You win! Would you like to... What? What? Is this really how Jailbreak ends? Okay, there doesn't really seem to be anything else I can do. So I guess that's it, then. Well, this has been Anachi Sasuke, this was Jailbreak. In the next Let's Read, we'll continue Homestuck probably, and also more SCP nonsense. So, thanks for watching. If you liked it, a like and subscribe would be groovy. If you didn't, you need to do either one of those things. And I'll see you in the next one. Later.